Hi Cardinals! Today we are going to make a woven design on a cup. They're so much fun. You can use them as little pencil holders, and you can put your scissors and your markers and things like that in them and put them on a desk as a decoration, and they make great gifts. So I'm going to show you guys today how to make one. These are a lot of work though, and they require quite a bit of yarn, so I would use yarn that is larger if you're going to tackle one this size. You can also use a small little Dixie cup to make these with, and they're great to put little hair rubber bands in, or paper clips, or smaller things in. So don't feel like you have to make one of these big giant ones. You can use little small cups and also make the little ones as well. They're just as beautiful and just as much fun. This is what it sort of looks like on the inside when you finish, and you only cut down part way so that the cup doesn't fall apart, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So this is weaving on a cup, and it is going to be our loom today. So we're only going to have weft threads, which is the threads that we're weaving with, because the cup is going to provide the part that we're weaving on. So not only is it a loom, it's sort of going to be our loom and our work threads. How we get to that point is you have to get a cup. I'm suggesting you use a smaller cup, but I'm going to show you on this big cup because I think it's easier for you to see what we're doing. But you have to divide the cup into little sections. The sections have to be an odd number, like 5, 7, or 9. If you do not have that many slits and it's an even number, it won't weave correctly for you. So you have to start and cut the little sections, and I just cut them down to where the cup sort of makes that little indentation so that the cup doesn't tear when I'm weaving on it. You can go to the bottom, but I usually don't. So I'm going to say that this is my first section right here, section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I made 7 slits, and that is how I'm going to weave. These are going to be considered my work threads of my loom, and then I'm going to weave on top of those. So I'm going to use kind of a fat yarn here, and the first thing I'm going to do is tie on. So I've got to wrap my yarn around one of my sections here, and I've got to tie a knot. So I'm going to make an X with my yarn like this, put it through the hole, and pull. Then I'm going to make another X, put it through the hole, and pull. Now I'm tied on really well. I'm going to cut off the excess, and I'm going to pull my knot around to the inside of the cup just so that it's not showing. So that's a little tricky in itself, but you can do it. So I'm going to put it on the inside of the cup so I don't see it. And now I'm tied on to the cup. You're going to use a process of over, under, over, under, over, under, and just weave in a circular motion the same direction all the way around the cup. When you make one complete circle around the cup, the weaving should be reversed from what it was originally, because if the yarn is showing on top of the section, now you're going under it. So every time you come around, you're opposite of what you did the first time, and I hope that I can explain that a little better as we start to weave. So I turned my knot to the inside of the cup, and so now I'm on the inside of the cup. Here my yarn is over, so on my next section, it is going to be under. Then on my next section over, my next section under. And I just pull it just a little bit taut so it's not loose, and I continue that process of under, hop over, under, and since the cup's clear, you can see kind of a little bit what I'm doing. Over, hop under. Now I'm back. I've made one full circle around the cup, and you can see the yarn is over on this section. So now I have to go under. That's how I know I'm doing it correctly, because if you're doing the same thing every time, it won't make the weaving pattern. So now I'm going to go under, hop over, under, hop over, under, hop over, and I'm just going to go round and round and round, and as I go I stack my yarns down at the bottom and make sure I'm not pulling them too tightly, because otherwise the plastic cup will start to overlap on itself and it makes it really difficult to leave and warps the cup. So you don't want to pull it so tight that it's warping the cup. The cup needs to stay like this, but you do need to just kind of make sure that the yarn is not all loosey-goosey on the cup. So you do have to pull it just barely tight and keep going. And every time you go around, you're gonna stack your yarns close to each other. So I'm gonna do this for a little while until I get a nice little pattern. On this one I did it, I don't know, 6 or 8 times, and then I changed colors, which is what we're gonna do in just a second. So I'm gonna go as far as I think it looks nice, and then I'm gonna maybe change colors, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. So over, under is all you do. You never do anything else. Over, under, over, under, over, under, and periodically you stop and stack the yarns nice and neat on top of each other and tighten anything you need to tighten up, okay? As long as they're nice and neat and pulled down, it'll start to form a really beautiful pattern for you, okay? So I'm gonna go around maybe one more time, and then we're gonna change colors. So over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. So you can kind of see what I'm doing with the over, under. I know I'm going quickly, but you need to take your time. Every so often stop and stack your yarns. Make sure it's not too tight. Make sure it's nice and even. And you just go around a couple of times, and every time you do that, you just come back and check your stacking, make sure it's nice and neat, pull everything together. Once it looks nice, then you feel like you're proud of the way it looks, now you're going to change colors, okay? So we're going to leave a little tail when we change colors, and we're going to get another color yarn, and we're going to put our 2 yarns together like this. And I always take my fingers and wrap it around, but basically you're making an X. So once you make a little X, you take your 2 ends of your yarn, put them through the hole, and then you pull both sets to make a knot, okay? When you're weaving, you want to make sure that that knot is hidden. So you're going to continue to weave on, over, under. Just make sure that your knot stays on the back side. And if it doesn't, adjust the knot so that it will end up on the back side, because you don't want a knot on the front of your cup. It doesn't look good. So you want to make sure that you're hiding it back there like that, and then you're going to continue on with your next color. Over, under, over, under, over, under. And if you're using a thick yarn, these cups are really fun to do, but if you're using a little tiny skinny yarn, it is going to take you a long time to weave this cup. You can even use dental floss if you want to color the dental floss with Sharpies and then weave on the little dental floss around a little Dixie cup. That looks cute too, but again, the Dixie cup is small and so is the dental floss, so that's going to take you a while to do, but it is doable. And you're just going to weave and weave and weave and change colors as many as you like. If you only have 2 colors, then do blue, gray, and then change colors back to blue and gray, blue, gray, something like that. Or you can weave the whole thing in one color. You don't even have to change colors if you like it. Some yarns come multicolored already, and if they do, you don't even need to change colors. Anyway, you can kind of see how the pattern is starting to form. And you just weave and weave and weave till you get all the way to the top. If the cup starts to get warped, you just have to kind of pull on it a little bit, make sure it's not too tight. You don't want these overlapping. And when you get all the way to the top, I always save one little piece like this that I tie around the top and put that little bow on it, and it just makes a great gift. So anyway, I know this is a little bit of a challenge, but I think you're up for it. So get a Dixie cup, get some yarn, cut an uneven number of slits in your cup, evenly spaced apart, 5, 7, or 9. Tie on your string. Remember to stay over, under, over, under, over, under. Weave all the way to the top. Tie a bow on it, and you have a beautiful little pencil holder. Have a great day. Talk to you later, Cardinals. Bye.